Howdy, folks. I'm Karen Carrot, courteously curtsying to cutesy cucumbers.
I'm Amber.
How cute! They're cute cucumbers, and I'm a carrot, and I'm doing a little dance for them. Well, being like curtsy. Let's get started. They're the cucumbers of my dream. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Throwing a Gift from My Dad's Wife in the Trash Before I Moved Out of Their House? I'm an 18-year-old male, and I moved out of my dad's house last month, the day that I turned 18. I no longer live in the same town, and instead I moved in with 3 of my friends who are starting college next month, and I'm about to start trade school. I'm working until trade school starts to afford rent and food. The 4 of us are splitting the cost between us. I did not take money from my dad. The day that I left, my dad's wife gave me this photo album, saying that it was a growing up gift. This photo album was photos of 7 years since she and my dad were married. I did not appreciate the gift, nor did I want it, which I told her to her face. She told me to take it and that I should have family photos when I move out. Before I left, I threw the album in the trash. To explain why I did this, what is the background? When I was 10, my mom died. She had an allergic reaction while we were out for a celebratory dinner for my dad, and she died on the way to the hospital. My mom was the glue that held us together. Dad and I were never very close before she died, but 6 weeks later, my dad had already met his wife, and they boxed up all of my mom's things, clothes, jewelry, photos of her, her phone, keys, anything that was hers, and they just brought it to the dump. I never got anything, and neither did any of her family. I was furious, and I will never forgive my dad for what he did. The very next day, he moved that woman in. They were married 4 months later. He had a small, but still an actual formal wedding. They dragged me to it and pretended everything was fine and normal. She even gave a speech about being so excited to have a son of their own and all the adventures that we would have together. When I was 12, I got a couple of copies of the photos from Mom from the extended family and put them in my room. My dad's wife found the photos and she removed them, saying that I didn't need those and that I would bring everyone down having them in the house. I yelled at her, cursed at her, wished her dead, and erased. And my dad yelled at me for disrespecting his wife. I told him that day I wished that he had died instead of Mom. And he told me that he wished he had let my grandparents take me after the fight that they had about my mom's stuff going to the dump. And I told him that I wish he had. The 7 years of living with the 2 of them has been a complete nightmare. I am so glad that I'm gone. I have no respect for either of them, and I don't care that my dad lost someone too. He threw her away, and not just from him. After settling into my apartment, my dad suddenly remembered my number for the first time in 3 years and called me out for upsetting and disrespecting his wife by throwing her gift away. He told me that she did it out of love, and I ignored it. She sent me a text on my dad's phone telling me that I should be surrounded by happy and family memories, which is why she made the album. I sent my photo of my mom, which has photos of my mom, the ones that I got copies of. That was my only reply that I made to her. But I got several more texts from some unknown number after I blocked my dad saying that I was actually being spiteful. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. The way that the dad and his wife behaved is unconscionable. To just throw away the possessions of OP's deceased mother is really horrible, and try to erase her from their memories and just act like nothing has happened. OP has no happy memories from those 7 years.
Well, also, 6 weeks, that's not even enough time to properly grieve.
It seems like he probably was either actively having an affair or had his eye on someone else.
Yeah, I can't see how you would immediately jump into a relationship after 6 weeks like that, right? That just is mind-boggling. And I tend to agree with you that I think that maybe there was an affair, because I just don't see how that logistically works out otherwise, right? I certainly hope that there wasn't any foul play in here too, right? That kind of immediately, if he was having an affair and then something happened at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping that there isn't more to it, but I don't know. I hate to wildly speculate like that. I think what they've done here is horribly unfair to OP. They forced this relationship on OP from the very beginning. And it wasn't a relationship that he wanted. It wasn't a relationship he needed. He needed, love and support from the mom's family. He needed love and support and memories from his mother. And he lost all of those things. And it can be really hard losing fond things and fond memories because, they get thrown out or destroyed or any number of things.
Right. Well, and he did that so callously. He didn't even like offer them up to other relatives or anything, just straight to the dump. Like she meant nothing.
Yeah.
All the years of marriage, nothing. She wasn't even worth like giving to someone else.
Out with the old, in with the new. So, yeah, I don't feel bad for the dad, and I don't feel bad for the stepmom here. They really did not handle this in a healthy or appropriate way, and I think that OP has every right to be resentful of these people. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And maybe OP's healing can finally start.
Mm-hmm.
And Napalm Axolotl says, not the jerk. Your response was appropriate. And this is definitely winning the post for most suspicious circumstances. I'm glad that I'm not the only one who thought that, right?
I mean, I was thinking that too. I didn't know if I should vocalize it, but I was like, how convenient that she just happened to have her allergen.
Yeah. I mean, I am glad that other people have voiced this at that point in time. And OP replies, I used to suspect the same thing, but I think he just went crazy trying to forget Mom, that the first woman who was willing to throw herself at him, and he got married to her. Looking back at how little they knew each other showed at the wedding. Maybe not then. And Napalm Axolotl says, well, that's something, but not your problem anymore. Some well-intentioned fools who have only spent time in genuinely happy families will try to get you to make up. Don't listen to them. In a few years, not months, you might decide that you want to try to reconcile. Or maybe you will never. Either way is fine. Do what feels right and don't listen to anyone's opinion except therapists. You should definitely see them when you can afford it later. And OP replies, thanks, I've noticed that people even in my real life were shocked by the level of disdain that I had for my dad and his wife and the fact that I refused to call her family. They tried telling me how important family is, but they just can't understand it. I also heard a lot of, you'll regret this when he's gone. And a Norse dude says, not the jerk, but you could have handled it better. Write a letter to your father and stepmom and write what you wrote here above. But don't be mean, cursing, or anything. Just plain out tell them this, what you feel, and how you feel perceiving everything. They don't seem to understand how you feel about your feelings towards your real mom. For them, most likely everything sorted itself out, which it did not. Then just lay down what kind of relationship you want to have with them now and for onwards. And OP replies, I don't want any relationship or contact with them. So writing a letter is a waste of time. I mean, it might not be to tell them that you're explicitly cutting them out of their lives, but I think OP sent that message home pretty well, too.
Yeah.
And as for handling it better, well, they could have handled not throwing away his memorabilia of his mother better.
Right. I mean, and taking down the photos and be like, you're just going to bring down the house with memories of your mother. Like, it seems like she basically became a taboo in that household. She couldn't speak about her, couldn't have her pictures. She was just supposed to be gone.
Yeah. Well, okay. The thing is this. This person is absolutely right that two wrongs don't make a right, right? Now, for a well-adjusted individual with a normal childhood where maybe there's some kind of, like, disagreement with their parents, right? And they go off the deep end and do something like this, that kind of reasoning could be used here. Like, you didn't handle this well. OP is still in a very emotionally fragile state, and I don't think that that can be understated. And that doesn't mean that if you're in an emotionally fragile state that you can, deride or insult people. But the parents here, OP's, father in particular, right? They made no effort to consider their feelings throughout years worth of time.
Right.
And the emotional damage that they do deserve to know how much that hurts. All right.
Well, and if they don't know at this point in time, it's because they're actively not listening to OP and don't care because his feelings mess with their happy family image.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Friend That I Can't Make Her Wedding Dress Despite Making Them for Two Other Friends? I'm a 38-year-old female, and I'm a dressmaker, and I have my own shop. It has been a custom in my friends group that my wedding gift to friends who marry has been an original wedding dress made to their taste, and have done this for two of my friends. I love my job and I love my friends, so it has always been an easy choice for me. However, I am currently 26 weeks pregnant with my first child and trying to lessen my workload as I prepare for maternity leave and pass larger projects over to my employees. My friend informed me last night that she is getting married. I was of course happy for her and congratulated her. She asked if I would be making her dress for her, and I told her of course I would, to just let me know when they had a date, and I was told they already had a date, January 19th. That was fine. A year and 5 months is perfect. Plenty of time to do designs and make it, and I expressed as much to her, but she corrected me. It wasn't January 19, 2026, like I assumed, but January 19th, 2025. I was a bit shocked at this, and I told her that if that's the date that she picked, that I would have to take back my promise, as there's no way I can make her a dress in that time frame, as I'll not be too long postpartum. I asked her to reconsider the date if she wanted me to make the dress, pointing out how 5 months wasn't much to plan a wedding anyways, but she insisted that was when she wanted it. I didn't push it as it was up to her, but I made it clear that I would not be able to make her dress for her then. She didn't understand all this at all, pointing out how I'll be taking time off of work anyways, and I can't just use that time to make her a wedding dress. I'll admit, in hindsight, I got a bit snappish here, and she likely didn't realize just how much work goes into making a wedding dress. But I asked her if she hit her head and why she would think that it would be okay to ask me to put stress on my pregnancy for her and her wedding dress. She has been putting messages in the group chat, calling me out, and saying how it was easy to tell who my favorites are, and it's clear her feelings are hurt. I am annoyed, but also feeling a bit regretful about this. I can't trust my employees to make a wedding dress without me, as their skill level isn't up to that, but maybe I could have had a rehearsal dress made for her, or even a reception dress to soothe out the hurt of her not getting a custom dress that she wants. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. And honestly, I don't know if this lady is really OP's friend if she's behaving this way. Like, I understand wedding dresses are expensive and she wants one, but you gotta be willing to work with the artist, you know? Like, I have sewed a few things. I'm not an expert, person in making things. And like, it is a time consuming endeavor, especially, if you're having all these little details added to things like lace or beading or anything like that. It can take a lot of time and energy. And like maternity leave is not like happy fun time either. Like it's learning how to raise a child.
Well, and that's it, right? Like she's going to be caring for a child here, a brand new child who's crying all the time, who's waking her up in the middle of the night, where she has to feed the child and take care of the child. This is not like a cakewalk here. It's a full-time job, right? Like
And
that's
like,
why they have maternity leave, so that you can go, take some time to bond with the child and take care of the child.
and also recovering from intense bodily trauma, because no matter how you give birth, like it's not going to be a fun process to recover from.
Yeah. So I think that the friend's request here is extraordinarily unreasonable. Please use your maternity leave time to make a dress for me. No, that's not a reasonable request. That is not a reasonable request at all. Is she going to be upset when there's, spit up on her dress because the baby, spit up on it? I mean, that's not unrealistic. Like if she were sewing while this kid was with her, that's something that could happen here. It's messy. Kids are messy.
Well, and to top that off too, like it's not gonna, she not like, because of all the fittings and details and everything, like if she were to get a dress at this point, it would have to be seriously rushed. It wouldn't be the dream dress she's imagining. Like I think she just expects that, OP snaps her fingers and a dress comes out perfectly, but that's not how custom dresses go.
No.
A lot of times, there's the initial ideas phase and then you make mock-ups and like you slowly build the dress into what you want it to be, and it takes a lot of time and trial and error.
If it were a very plain dress, then she might be able to do it, right? But I think a full-on wedding dress is going to be way too much. Way too much. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Express ZSO says, info, what's the normal time frame from order to delivery of a wedding dress in your shop? And OP replies, 10 months on average. I've made it work faster for those who want simpler dresses that are easier, and more complex dresses take longer. I mean, that seems like a pretty reasonable time frame, 10
Mm-hmm.
months. And espresso, that's what it was originally. Espresso, that's clever. Well, not the jerk. Can't make it in time even if she put in the order right before you found out about the pregnancy. And OP replies, if I wasn't pregnant, and if she wanted a very simple dress, and if I had no major orders in at that time, I could make it work, but that's also so many ifs. And no customer 2266 says, wow, where do people make friends like this? Because I would like to avoid that place, please. And OP replies, well, I became friends with her in high school, so that's the starting point for you. And falling into polka dot says, not the jerk. Wow! That's some audacity of your friend to suggest you risk your health and sanity in order to make her a wedding gown in 5 months. You're growing a human, and then you'll be birthing a tiny human and then recovering from giving birth while taking care of a newborn. Where does she think the wedding gown making is going on amid all that? My gosh. And temporary 4634 says, and this is supposed to be a gift. She is demanding a gift from OP. I hope OP explained to the friends group that this is not favoritism. And OP replies, I simply said in a group chat that I was unable to make a dress in 5 months for free. I avoided the chat since then as I'm quite upset by this. One of the friends that I made a dress for gave me 3 years notice because she knew it would take time and she wanted a ball gown, so didn't want to make me feel pressured. That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Where do monsters travel?
Where do monsters travel? Well, I assume they travel through closets. Closet doors?
From ghost to ghost.
From ghost to ghost. Maybe. I'm not sure I'll give that one to Jovial Bobstein. And
I thought it was clever. I liked it.
I have Mega Mint. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your week is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and have it on gifts.
Gifts should be given voluntarily and not demanded.
And also, you can't force a gift on somebody either.
Oh, yes.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.